Hi, my name is Dan, and this is my channel, Engelgeist. Thank you for tuning in. These are the October 2019 Tarotscopes. This is for the sign of Taurus. So those with a sun, moon, rising, or Venus in Taurus. If you're a cross watcher, if this turns into a love reading, then you would want to watch if your planet Venus was in Taurus when you were born. Beyond that, this is, like I said, for the month of October of 2019. If you like these videos or you enjoy this Tarotscope, please, sorry, I'm a little spaced out today. If you, if you enjoy this Tarotscope, please like, share, comment, subscribe, leave me comments, let me know how your October went after the fact. Let me know, was this accurate? Was, it inaccurate? Any feedback is greatly appreciated. And if you also hit the subscribe button, make sure to hit the bell so that you get notified every time I do a video. I do morning forecasts and picker cards and all sorts of stuff that you can find on the channel. So I'm going to shuffle your cards and see where the energy is for my lovely Taurians in the month of October. I love me some Taurus, that's true. Okay, so this first card coming out represents sort of kind of where the Taurians are going to be resonating most of the month. Not all of the complete month, but most of the time during the month, this will be the overall general energy or what you guys are exploring during the month of October. So your first card coming out is the Three of Crystals, which is creativity. This is all about, crystals deals with the element of air and the mind. And the Three of Crystals, to me, this card being creativity, says to me that you guys are going to be trying to think yourself out of some boxes. Maybe you found yourself involved in some situations that you've decided are no longer serving you. And in the month of October, it feels like you're going to sort of pull yourself up out of that and start looking at bigger pictures, bigger ideas, where you want to be, say, by year's end or by midpoint next year. But it looks like you guys are going to be moving on to different horizons and thinking creatively about how to get there. Changing sort of your trajectory for some of you, but for some of you, just trying to get out of the sort of the daily grind. It feels to me like some of you Taurians may actually be as strong as you guys are, right? You guys are very strong and sort of dedicated, loyal. You'll work hard and plod along, so to speak. But I feel like this creativity card says to me that there's a lot of you that are going to decide no longer. Like you don't want to do whatever it is you are doing or thinking the way you have been thinking. You're over it. You're tired. You want something different. You want something creative. You want something more inspired. And you're about ready to change all of that in the month of October, it looks like. First, starting with your thoughts of how and where, you're like focusing. Okay, so it looks like to me with this horizon here in the card, you guys are going to be focusing more on the bigger picture, more on the horizon, trying to get yourself up out of the day-to-day detritus that is down here, down below. Okay, your next card is what I call the foundation card. This card tells me a little bit about what's been going on in the past that sort of set everything up to be the way that it is, and why it is the way that it is. So you guys have the Fool Child, which is similar to the Fool in Tarot. What it is well, this is a Tarot deck, but they call it Fool Child here. It's like the Fool card. It's the first card of the major arcana. And this card is always about new beginnings, new journeys. So you guys have set off on some sort of new journey, I think, in the last few months, maybe. Maybe some things have changed. People have asked you to sort of stay the same and you've refused to. You have decided to go out on your own, not necessarily thinking about sort of the ramifications, but just to sort of, like, I get this sense that for the Taurians, it's been like, this is enough. We're done. I want to move on. And this is sort of like previous, right? So in the last few months, we've been feeling this way, and we've been changing things up and starting a new journey and moving forward. Although we don't necessarily know the outcome, right now in the month of October, I believe it's starting to become more clear to us as we have these horizons opening up to us that we are going to be able to see a little bit further into the distance as to what it is we're working on, how we want to work on it, and think creatively about the creation of that, right? The making of that new plan, that new job, that new relationship, whatever it is that's new that you want to be different, that you set out in the last few months to sort of change and shift. And I feel like some of you went against the wills of others to do it, like against others' better judgment. You're like, no, I'm going to do this on my own. Thank you very much. You're now in this place in the month of October where you're going to find yourself really working hard mentally to sort of come up with creative ideas or to create what it is that you do want. And I think that you will be sort of successful in it because the Fool Child has no fear, right? The Fool Child goes into something kind of open-minded, and some can say it's naive, but in some ways it lacks any sort of fear or any awareness of being worried. Therefore, now we find ourselves in the month of October thinking like the card is creativity. So it's like we're thinking creatively to sort of propel ourselves forward to endeavors that we want. So I feel like this is an overall positive mental card that you guys are, to me, you're earth signs, right? So I don't feel like you guys necessarily are always up in your head really overthinking things. You can be at times, but you guys tend to be more doers than thinkers. And here it looks like you guys are going to be thinking more and planning more, planning things out in a very creative way to propel yourself forward in a positive way. The next card is your spirit or soul card. So this shows me what your spirit or soul is up to. Now this is a beautiful card for the month of October. It's the Harvest card. It goes right along with my set. And I didn't even plan that, Taurus. I'm not trying to impress you so you'll take me back to your bedroom because we know what good lovers you are. But sorry about the glare on the cards. This light maybe needs to, I don't know. Maybe I need to reposition these cards. But this is the Harvest card. So this is the Nine of Worlds. So your soul is working on, what I love about this is like, okay, so we've got this whole autumnal theme, yes, and I'm gay, and so it matches the set, and that's beautiful, lovely, lovely, lovely. But what this is this is about the soul is like kind of teaching us that what we do now, we sort of reap later. What we do now and where we think creatively now, we sort of will bring in the harvest later. And it will be a big and abundant harvest, right? And so to me, I feel like with this creative thought being what's leading us this month in our soul's pursuit or our soul's idea is this is all about harvest on a sort of financial level, right? Worlds is like pentacles in other more traditional tarot decks. So this is about finances, home, career, that sort of sector of life. Our soul is sort of watching us and setting us up to sort of benefit, but we have to do the work. We have to do the creative thinking. We have to stay open-minded like the Fool Child and keep moving forward, trusting that we will find our way out of sort of maybe the doubt or the situations that aren't necessarily serving us, right? We're going to be thinking creatively throughout the month of October. So we are using that creativity to bring in this harvest that the soul has planned for us. So it feels to me like, I hate to say it, but if you guys are patient, which I know you guys are good at being patient, if you're patient just a little bit longer, my feeling is by the end of the year, you guys are going to see something financially hit. Something is going to work out, like either a new job, the job that you're in is going to be, there's going to be something that you're going to reap from it, or even a relationship. A relationship is going to make more sense to you. It's going to be more stabilized, that sort of a thing, where you're going to be getting more benefit, more out of it, okay? So, but give it time. That's what this is also. This is about being patient, and you guys are good at being patient. You have like tons of patience, I believe. So know that the journey that you started in the last few months with your creative thought is going to bring about a very abundant harvest in the months to come, but you have to just stay faithful and keep that creative thinking going. Now, the next two cards are what I call the outside influence cards. These cards tell me a bit about sort of what's influencing you. It can be people, they can be sometimes events, they can be things more vague like energies or belief systems that are also having an effect on you, but during the month of October. So let's see what they are. One is the Magician. Interesting. We have the Priestess in this position for the Aries. It's funny, you have this Fool Child here, which is Major Arcana. This is your other Major Arcana. Aries had the Priestess here in this position. I definitely feel like this is a powerful male in the way. Not necessarily in the way, but I feel like the Magician can be both beneficial and sort of negative, in my opinion. Sometimes it can be all about creativity and being able to be like a magician and make magic happen, right, in a very magical sort of way. But because this is in an outside influence position, sometimes I feel like this card also sort of feels like indulgence, sometimes feels like fakery, sometimes feels like people that are like sort of wielding their power in a way that is sort of trickery. And that's what I'm sort of getting from this card today. I don't feel like it feels super positive to me. It feels like maybe somebody is sort of blocking you a little bit in the month of October. They would be male, they would be impulsive. They might have a little bit of an issue with their own emotions. They might have some vices that they deal with. And I feel like they might be senior to you, like say a boss or an older brother, an uncle, a father, a grandfather, somebody that's above you, right? And they've got their opinions about you. But let me say this, I do feel you Taurians have your opinions about them too. Okay, they're a little impulsive. They haven't done everything perfectly. Yes, they might be charming and they know how to talk their way out of things, but they haven't necessarily always pulled off everything exactly as gracefully as they think you should. Okay, so if you're feeling as though you're being criticized by somebody who probably shouldn't be pointing any fingers, don't be surprised if that shows up in the month of October. This Magician person, though, does have good information on some level. They are accomplished, but their information, whether you choose to take it or not, may or may not work for you. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. You might be able to make it work for you, but I really think that this creativity card here at the beginning says to me that your own thought around a situation, your own inspiration, your own intuition, your own ideas are what is to really be formulated and trusted, because that's going to bring about this harvest, not the stuff that this person has for you. Does that make sense? Now, the other outside influence, okay, is the Five of Wands, which is oppression. Okay, my little Taurians, what is going on? This card showed up for the Aries too, but in a different position. What I'm gonna say is it feels like you really need to move on. You guys know it too. This Fool Child card says to me that, like, in the last few months, you've just been like, fuck it, I need something new. Excuse my language, but it's like, I need something new, I need to move on. This creativity card is telling me you're trying to think your way up out of the detritus of the day-to-day. You've got this gentleman here blocking you. You're looking for this harvest to come in, so essentially, like, your ship hasn't really come in yet. To me, this feels like the idea of oppression. This is a fire sign. It is a wand sign. It is sort of spiritual oppression in a way. But to me, this feels like this is an outside influence. So this feels like this is like the energy of being stuck, like you can't do it, being told maybe by your outside environment or by people around you, oh no, you're not allowed to think outside of the box. You're not allowed to go beyond whatever it is you have. That's not possible. It's those sort of ideas and statements that you might be receiving from the surrounding environment that could lead to you staying stuck. You need to fight it with this creativity to bring about this harvest, okay? Everything that you're doing in the month of October, if it feels hard and it feels like you're kind of fighting for every bit that you get, that's okay. Do it. Keep fighting. Don't give up, because you want to be free of this. By year's end, you will be harvesting something that you didn't even... Well, I think you're aware that you could bring it in, but I think it's going to be better than you expect, okay? Or you're going to feel better than you expect, because this is a soul card. The soul always has things planned for us that we don't even fully understand. So this last card for you guys is what I call the potential outcomes card. And this card is not set in stone by any means. This card, we have free will, we have free choice. So this card is sort of like the outcome of the month of October barring that nothing major changes, right? Just sort of where things are naturally going to flow for the majority of you in the month of October. If this card is something negative, we can use it as a warning to sort of make choices and changes now to avoid this outcome happening. So it's not set in stone. But this is the Four of Crystals, and this is logic. And it's interesting to me because we have the Three of Crystals is where we're trying to be at, which is creativity. But we end with this logical thinking. Are we going to end up penning ourselves in and staying oppressed by our own logic is the question that I want to ask. Sometimes this card looks to me like it's normally very balanced, but when I look at it now, it looks like these almost look painful to me. Like it looks like we might stay in a situation or a job or a position that is oppressing us too much. A boss or a father or a relationship that might be oppressing us too much because we don't feel as though it's logical to leave. Our creative mind is telling us different. The Fool Child and this Harvest card is also telling us different. But the thing is that I feel like with this Logic card, we may not be, I don't know, brave enough to take the risk in the month of October. That doesn't necessarily mean you won't take the risk later in the month, or I mean later in the year. But right now, it looks like the outcome for the majority of you, where you stand right now, is, and that's probably why you're juggling this oppression card right now, is you guys are really feeling the push in your environment in the month of October. And so this oppression card might be stronger than some of you can handle. And in true typical Taurian fashion, what you tend to do as the bull that you are is you'll stick your feet in the ground, get stubborn, think logically, firm up, and fight it. And the thing is really what I think you need to do is get creative and get the hell out of there. But you may decide to stay and push back and stay in this logical sort of space, this mental space of logic, which will kind of pen you into a situation that I fear isn't necessarily your most ideal. But it is uncomfortable enough that you are going to have to address it probably in the months to come if you don't get it finished and addressed by the end of October. Okay, I hope that all made sense for the month of October for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment in the comments below. Please, like I said, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so that you get notified every time I do a video. I do unboxings and a daily forecast. Please tune in for that. You can follow me at Instagram at Engelgeist333. And again, check back in mid-month and let me know how your month is going. Are you dealing with some of these issues? Are you struggling to think creatively? Are you having a hard time dealing with like an oppressive environment that is sort of not really something that you want to deal with anymore? Is there some jerk butt, like impulsive dude that's on your nerves? Check in with me. You can always book a private reading. I might be able to give you some insight in how to better deal with these things so that you don't end up penned in and stuck in a situation that you kind of know and have been trying to get out of for a while. Have a great October, you guys. I love my Taurians. You guys are lovely, earthy, wonderful people, and I hope that this reading helps and gives you some insight. See you soon. Bye-bye.